Welcome back to my channel. I'm James. Today we're going to be discussing a classic 1942 masterpiece of filmmaking. So I'm excited to announce we're going to deep dive into Casablanca on 4K Ultra HD. And this is the brand new 80th anniversary edition that's released by Warner Brothers. Now, I did get this in about a full week before the release date, and I've been secretly working on this for all of you here to get this done as soon as possible. As most of you know, this week I have done tons of exclusive content here on my YouTube channel. I've done tons of the Christmas reviews and movies and things like that, but I've been secretly working on this one for a while behind the scenes to kind of give you something extra surprise here. So this should be available for you to watch anywhere between about 4 to 5 days before the release date to let you know the quality of this. Now, I'll be doing my exclusive 4K versus the original Blu Ray image comparisons to let you know the quality of it. I'll always wrap it up as always with my review score as well to let you know how this compares to all the hundreds of other 4Ks I've exclusively tested and reviewed here on my YouTube channel. Now, to start off with here, we're going to start off with the 2012 Blu-ray release. Now, the reason this is important to understand is this is the release they went back and did a new 4K scan when they did the remaster around the 70th anniversary of that. And that was the 70th anniversary release that they did. Now, the previous release that was on Blu-ray way before that, if you have that edition, that one's the worst of all of them. But the 2012 Blu-ray did have a lot of noticeable improvements that they did because they did a 4K scan at that time that drastically improved over the previous outdated and horrible Blu-rays before that. So the reason we're starting off with that 2012 is because that's the one that most people that are fans of Casablanca are going to own or have, and that's why this one's an important one in comparison to the new 4K here. And I'll get to what the differences are and what I discovered when I did all of my testing here, but the reason I wanted to start off with this one here to talk about is the 2012 was such a big improvement over what they had done before that I really was surprised originally at how good that looked. Now, there were still things like it still had digital noise in it. There was issues with the audio still on it where, because of how old this film is, back from 1942, and the way it was filmed, the audio has always had some slight issues throughout every single release that it's ever had. And those were present on the 2012 Blu-ray as well, where a lot of the times where you could hear like hissing and loud hissing and digital noise in the background, and like where there would be music playing at the nightclub and things like that, you'd be able to hear like some static or some clicks and things like that every once in a while in the 2012 Blu-ray. So those things are important to understand, as well as there was some slight DNR used. It wasn't nearly as heavy as it was on the old Blu-ray before that, but it's important to understand that there was some slight DNR used. But at the time, I mean, that 2012 Blu-ray was still a huge improvement over the previous Blu-rays before that. So in comparison to the new 4K Ultra HD release, now this is the 80th anniversary, they went back and did a brand new 4K scan of the remaining and surviving 35mm nitrate film elements. They did not use any of the 2012's Blu-ray scan. This is a brand new one. So the technology, obviously, in 10 years has advanced quite a bit more since even 2012. So I was happy to find out that they were doing a brand new scan, because I was originally thinking, is this going to contain some of the same issues with the audio and some of the slight DNR? So because they didn't use the old 2012 Blu-ray scan that they did and went and did a brand new one from the surviving elements, that makes a big difference on this, because they were able to do a brand new remaster and restoration for this 4K Ultra HD release. Which that started to tell me that they were trying to do something to even provide Casablanca in a better light than it ever been in before. As you probably noticed in those images above, the Casablanca 4K Ultra HD with the HDR10 implementation does bring a healthy increase in natural details, depth to that image because of the lights to darks, and the HDR drastically enhanced that inky black and brilliant whites. And along with all of the varying shades of grays and blacks and whites that go out throughout that, there is much more area that they can give different shades of things on this 4K Ultra HD. Because of the HDR10 and this new 4K scan, it did add quite a bit more depth to the image that really surprised me, because I was really thinking that, man, I don't know how much more they can pull out of it. And nicely, there is quite a healthy improvement in details and depth in here that did drastically make it look better than the 2012 Blu Ray. Now, if you enjoy all of these videos that I create exclusively here on my YouTube channel, make sure to go down, give this video a thumbs up and a like for me, hit that subscribe button and the bell notification. We have a goal this year to get the YouTube channel to 10,000 subscribers by the end of this year. We're going to be really close, but the only way I can hit that is if you go down, give this video a like and a thumbs up for me, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell notification. Now, this is presented in its original aspect ratio of 1.37 to 1. They didn't change it, cut it down, edit it, do anything like that. So I always appreciate when they do things like that. Though I do think Warner Brothers is doing an outstanding job lately with a lot of these releases. If you've been following me here on my YouTube channel, I really feel like their 4K restoration division and things like that has stepped up their game this year quite a bit, and they are doing a really good job with a lot of these. Casablanca is not an exception to the rule. It looks good. But they didn't just stop there with the visual improvements, and that's what I was curious was. I was talking about earlier about the 2012's audio issues and all the previous releases of Casablanca before that. The audio issues have always been present because they didn't really take so much time to try to go in and fix tons of the hissing or the clicks or the errors in the audio that were there. There was numerous audio lags that existed on the 2012 Blu Ray and every Blu Ray and DVD before that. They were just slight audio delays. Well, I am happy to announce they did a brand new audio mix restoration that dramatically improved the overall sound clarity so that the sound is richer and easier to hear than ever before for Casablanca. I was really surprised when going back and forth between the new 4K and the 2012, especially when they're in the nightclub and there's music playing in the background and they're talking. There was always issues with just hearing some of what they're saying when they were talking lower, and sometimes the background noise being louder than their voices on the previous Blu-rays, though the 2012 did sound better than the Blu-rays before that, but even on that one, it still could have used some more work. Well, the audio that they did on this was such a nice improvement that I thought that was worth the price of admission alone on this, because this has always been a movie, in my opinion, that the talking and the nuances in their voices and the conversations they have are what so dramatically sell this film, that when you're watching it, it engages you so well with the actors and the dramatization of the story altogether, that now I really feel like Casablanca sounds good. Overall, I couldn't find the clicks and all the issues that I'd had with all the hissing and the loud hissing, the digital noise, hissing sounds in it. They're gone from this. I really couldn't hear any of them at all. There was one slight instance you could hear it a little bit, but in comparison, I went back to the same scene on the 2012, and it was horrible. It was loud. You could hear that hissing real loud. It wasn't on this. So they really spent a ton of time working on the audio, and it is an English DTS HD master audio lossless 2.0 mono. So they really gave us the absolute best they could from these film elements, remastering, restoring not only the visual, but the audio elements as well. Now, this is a native 4K 2160p, so because they went back and scanned the original film elements with a brand new 4K scan from those nitrate film elements, it really does lend nicely to a 4K Ultra HD release, especially because they didn't dumb it down by giving it a horrible bitrate either. So to give you an example, this has a rough average bitrate that was very strong and healthy at roughly about 67 megabits per second, which is a good average bitrate, especially for a black and white film. It's healthy and stable throughout most of it. There wasn't any massive dips throughout it, so it looks very good and stable throughout. Now, this did not have the DNR that was used on any of the previous Blu-ray releases. Even though 2012 was very, very light, the DNR that was used, there's none of that on this. You can see so much more of the film grain on this. The film grain's very stable. A lot of the things in the 2012 that still had some slight smudges or blots in the actual image, those are completely gone in this. So what I really feel like Warner Brothers did is they kind of went back to their 2012 release and said, hey, what could we improve from the 2012 to make it a worthwhile release to release it on 4K that people would say, hey, this is worth spending the money on because there's more fixes, more improvements, that it's actually worth buying again, which I'm happy about because I was worried that I was going to be triple dipping or quadruple dipping, however many times you want to call it, that the film might not have been as big an upgrade as I was hoping for. Well, Happily, it does look good. Sound sounded so much better that it really does help and improve over what even the 2012 Blu-ray had. Now, if after you get done watching this review and hearing my review score at the end of this, you do decide you want to buy Casablanca on 4K Ultra HD, as always, I put the links directly from Amazon in the description section right below this video and as a pinned comment in the comment section below. You click on those, it takes you straight out to Amazon, and I've made it nice and easy for you. Those never cost any of you even a penny extra when you click on those Amazon links, but it does help to support this YouTube channel and the creation of these videos. So make sure if you enjoy all this hard work and you do decide you want to buy Casablanca, make sure to click through those Amazon links I've posted down below. Now, you do get additional audio mixes, Dolby Digital 2.0 mono, in several other languages, like German, French, Spanish, Italian. There was roughly 10 other languages you got as audio options on this as well. Subtitles, you do get English, French, German, Italian, plus 13 other languages for subtitles as well. So basically about anywhere you live worldwide, this has all your audio and your subtitle options you're gonna want. Now, to show you what you get in this, I really like this slipcover. I love the blue, like neon words for Casablanca they put on here. Side, it has the same blue on the side. I really like that. It talks about it. You do get all the previous special features from the 2012 Blu-ray, as well as what they put on here with the introduction by Lauren Bacall and 2 separate commentaries by Roger Ebert and film historian Rudy Beller. So those are included on here as well on the 4K Ultra HD disc. And then you get all, like I said, the original special features from the 2012 Blu-ray. And there's a reason for that. When you get inside here, you do get a Blu-ray disc. I did test it. It is 100% region-free. You'll be able to watch both the Blu-ray and the 4K Ultra HD is region-free. So both discs are completely region-free. So if you do want to import it from that link I put down in the description section below, Amazon will ship that to you anywhere worldwide. But here's why it's important. The Blu-ray disc is the original 2012 transfer. They did not put the new 4K scan onto this Blu-ray. This is the original 2012 Blu-ray transfer on this Blu-ray disc. So to experience the Casablanca the best way possible, it's on this 4K Ultra HD disc, especially with that HDR10. This is the new 4K scan. This is the 2012 scan. Now, I wanted to share something that's a little bit different. A lot of people always share their thoughts about Casablanca as a film and how much they love it. And I figure there's probably a million reviews out there of everybody talking and waxing lyrical about how great of a film Casablanca is. And it is. It is a masterpiece. But I wanted to share my personal experience of when I first discovered Casablanca. I don't know if most of you have been to MGM Studios, and this is way back in the 80s, but before it was renamed by Disney to Hollywood Studios. There was a ride that was the Grumman's Chinese Theater, the basically remake they made of it, that when you entered MGM Hollywood Studios, you'd see that. And there was a ride inside it called the Great Movie Ride. Well, there was actually where you would wait online and you'd go through like the turnstiles and you'd wait online and they'd have this giant screen that while you're waiting to ride the ride, and back when I went when I was a kid, it was packed and you'd wait in there for a long time to get on the ride. But when you waited, it would actually play like great scenes from great movies. As a kid, that was when I first experienced Casablanca, and I saw it on there and the clips they were showing, and I was excited by it because I liked old movies at the time. Then when you get on the ride and you get to the animatronic scene, which I'll show you a picture here of, but when you get to the animatronic scene and you see it, I thought the like just gorgeous side of the filmmaking, how cool it looked with the animatronics and things like that. We got done with the ride. When we got back home from vacation, I asked my parents to rent me Casablanca on VHS from the local old movie store. And so they did, and that was my experience of when I first fell in love with the film and really enjoyed it. I've seen it dozens of times since then in almost every iteration it's ever been released on. The reason it's important that I kind of wanted to explain that to all of you is to kind of give you a history of I've always loved films. I've loved movies, and it's things like that that kind of stick in my mind of when I first started to experience a lot of these great classics. And that was my first experience of it, and then when I got it on VHS, I enjoyed watching it, watched it numerous times before my parents took it back. Well, I can tell you after all of the iterations I've seen of Casablanca, this new 4K has a very strong increase in fine details and textures you can see in the image, depth to the image that's dramatically enhanced by the HDR10 with all those brilliant whites and inky blacks, that this is the best way that I have ever viewed Casablanca in the years and years of experiencing this great film. Now, I will touch on those original 35mm nitrate film elements. There is some things inherent to those that are always going to be present. There is some slight degradation in some scenes that become slightly softer due to the film damage, that no matter how much restoration they do, because of how those nitrate elements deteriorated over time, those are always going to exist, and they've existed on every single release that's ever been released, 2012 or previously before. Those same scenes that slightly get softer are still present and will always be present. They will never be able to get rid of those unless technology were to so drastically change to something that none of us can even think of right now. As far as my understanding is, because of that damage to those nitrate elements when they scan those will always be present no matter how much of the restoration that is done on these. But it still doesn't change how important or how great this 4K restoration was for Casablanca. Now, getting to my review score. For Casablanca on 4K Ultra HD, this gets a magnificent 9.7. This is a must-buy for any cinephile out there that loves classic films or classic movies. This is a must-buy to add to your collection and experience the best sounding Casablanca ever has, the best visual presentation Casablanca ever has. It really was that nice of a noticeable improvement that if you have a good, professionally calibrated 4K display and 4K player, you will see the healthy improvements in visual quality as well as audio quality that this truly provides. That's why I said if you're a cinephile, you've already seen this film. I don't really need to sell you on how good of a film it is, but this is worth upgrading and buying. That's how good this was. It is one of the best 4K restorations of a black and white film that I have ever seen. That is how good this looked. Comparing it to a lot of the other black and white films that I've tested with side-by-side image comparisons, I was really shocked and blown away at how good of a job they did with this release to improve visual quality, audio quality. It just really was that nice of an upgrade. It's a 9.7. Even if you own the 2012 Blu Ray, I think you'll appreciate the increases in what they did with this restoration. There's a lot of little things, some bigger things. The audio is a bigger thing. And those things alone made it a worthwhile addition. Price is great for it. I mean, Warner Brothers is doing a great job with their prices on these. They're not charging us 35, 40, 50 bucks for these. So in my opinion, it was a definite upgrade that was worthwhile, and it's a magnificent 9.7. It's really that good of a looking film that I just only ever want to watch this 4K from now on. Make sure to start the conversation in the comment section below and let me know your thoughts about how you experienced Casablanca for the first time. Let me know if you've been on that ride and if you remember experiencing Casablanca through that with the animatronics and that intro show. Make sure to start that conversation in the comment section below. Let me know if you're excited to buy this new 4K Ultra HD now that you've seen what it looks like and kind of gotten a taste of it. And once you hear it and actually get to hear the improvements on it, I think you'll be surprised at how the audio sounds so much better as well. If you decide you're going to pick up and buy this now after hearing my review, make sure to go down through those Amazon links I posted in the description section and as a pinned comment in the comment section below. Those always take you straight out to Amazon. They never cost you a penny extra, and it's on sale for the same prices everywhere. But that does help to support this YouTube channel just a little bit. If you enjoy all the hard work I put into all of these, as always, make sure to join my Collectors VIP Club. That's what supports this channel and the creation of these videos, so I can constantly keep creating all of these for you and providing all of this 4K versus Blu-ray image comparison content is always through my Collectors VIP Club. It costs you less than a couple of bucks every month, but it drastically makes a difference in the creation of these videos that I create for all of you. Don't forget to give this video a like and a thumbs up for me. Hit that subscribe button and the bell notification. As always, I hope all of you enjoyed all the hard work I put into this. I hope you have a blessed day, and I've always got something new and very exciting coming out very soon.